I was more than 3,000 light-years from Earth when the first alien ship appeared on my screen. At first I thought it was a mistake. My sensors were old, but they had never failed me before. The object was too large to be a normal ship, and it was moving without making a sound. I slowed my ship and checked the scanner again. Then another ship appeared. Then another. Within less than a minute, I was surrounded by more than 20 huge ships. I was alone. My ship, the Horizon, was a small human exploration ship. It was built for long trips, not for war. I had only 4 weapons, and none of them could hurt a ship like the ones around me. I looked at the screen and felt my hands become cold. I had faced danger before, but this was different. These ships were not hiding. They wanted me to see them. I reached for the communication button. "This is Captain Alex Carter of the United Human Exploration Fleet. You have entered my space. Please identify yourselves." For several seconds, there was no answer. Then every light inside my ship turned red. My computer showed an incoming message. I opened it. A strange voice filled the room. "Human, stop your ship." I looked at the screen. I could see the face of the alien commander. He had dark skin, 4 eyes, and a long silver mark across his face. I had never seen his species before. "This is Captain Alex Carter," I said. "Why have you stopped me?" The alien did not answer. Instead, he said something I will never forget. "Human, leave this place." I thought I had heard him wrong. "Excuse me. Turn your ship around. Return to your world." I looked at the ships around me again. "You surrounded me," I said. "You brought 20 warships here, and now you are asking me to leave?" "Yes." "Why?" The alien commander stayed silent. I waited. He finally looked directly into the camera. "Because your people were never supposed to come back." Those words made no sense to me. Come back from where? Again, silence. I felt something strange in my chest. It was not fear anymore, it was confusion. "My species has never been here before," I said. "This is my first mission in this part of space." The alien commander slowly leaned closer to his camera. "You believe that? What does that mean?" He did not answer. Instead, the screen changed. A black image appeared. At first, I could not understand what I was looking at. Then I saw it clearly. It was a symbol, a simple human symbol. 3 lines inside a circle. I had seen it before. Every human child had seen it in old history books. It was one of the oldest symbols in our history. We believed it belonged to an ancient group of humans that had disappeared thousands of years ago. I stared at the screen. "Where did you get that?" The alien commander said nothing. "Answer me." His voice became quieter. "Your people left this symbol behind." "Where?" "All over the galaxy." My heart started beating faster. That was impossible. Humanity had only entered deep space a few hundred years ago. At least that was what we believed. Our oldest records said we had never traveled this far. I asked him again, "How do you know this symbol?" The alien commander looked at me for a long moment. "Because we remember your people." I almost laughed. "You remember humans?" "Yes." "How old are your records?" "Very old." "How old?" The alien commander gave me a number. 11,000 years. I stopped breathing for a second. 11,000 years. That was more than 10,000 years before human space travel had even begun. "That is not possible," I said. "It is." "You are lying." "We have no reason to lie." I looked at the alien ships outside my window. If he was telling the truth, then everything I knew about human history was wrong. I opened the old history files on my ship. I searched for the symbol. The computer found it immediately, origin unknown. That was all it said. I looked back at the alien. "What happened to the humans you knew?" His 4 eyes became still. "They disappeared." "Where did they go?" "We don't know." "Did you fight them?" The alien commander did not answer right away. Then he said, "We learned not to." I felt a chill move through my body. What does that mean? He sent another message to my screen. It contained only 6 words. "Never disturb humanity." I read the words again. Then again. "What is this?" "It is an old rule." "Whose rule?" "Everyone's." I shook my head. That makes no sense. It does to us. I looked through the window at the endless alien fleet. You are afraid of humans? The commander looked away for the first time. We are afraid of what happens when humans are challenged. I wanted to ask another question, but a loud alarm suddenly came from his side of the communication. The alien commander turned his head. Several voices started speaking behind him. His face changed. He looked frightened. Not angry. Not worried. Frightened. Captain Carter, he said quickly, you must leave now. What happened? He looked at me. Someone has found you. Who? He did not answer. Behind his ship, the stars suddenly went dark. One by one, the alien ship stopped moving. Then my sensors began screaming. Something was coming toward us, something much larger than the entire alien fleet. The commander looked at me one last time. Then he said the words that changed my life forever. Captain, the galaxy remembers what your people did. The screen went black. And for the first time in my life, I wondered if humanity had been hiding a secret from itself. I could still hear the alien commander's last words in my head. The galaxy remembers what your people did. I sat in the dark control room of the horizon and stared at the black screen. Outside my window, more than 20 alien warships were frozen in space. None of them moved. None of them fired. It was as if the entire fleet was waiting for something. My hands were still on the controls, but I had forgotten what I was supposed to do. I had spent my whole life learning human history. I knew about our first space station, our first jump drive, our first trip to another star. I knew when humans first met aliens. But now one alien had told me that humans had traveled through this same part of space 11,000 years ago. That could not be true, at least it should not be true. The communication screen suddenly came back to life. The alien commander was there again. His face looked different now. He was speaking quickly. Captain Carter, listen carefully. You must not move. I looked at him in confusion. A minute ago you told me to leave. I know, he said. That was before they arrived. I looked at my sensor screen. The strange darkness behind the alien fleet was getting closer. I could not see a ship, a planet, or even a shape. It was simply a black area moving through space. My computer could not measure its size. What is that? I asked. The commander looked at me and said, We call them the Silent Ones. I waited for more. He gave me nothing. What are they? I asked again. We do not know. His voice became quiet. But your ancestors knew them. I felt a cold feeling in my stomach. Stop saying things like that. My ancestors never came this far. The commander shook his head. That is what your records say. And what do your records say? I asked. He looked down for a moment. They say humans were here before our oldest cities were built. They say humans crossed the galaxy before most of our species learned to leave their own planets. I stared at him. Then why don't we know about this? Because you forgot. I almost laughed. A whole species forgot thousands of years of space travel. Not exactly, he said. Someone made sure you would forget. Those words hit me harder than anything else he had said. I opened the history files again. This time I searched for the oldest records we had. There were gaps, huge gaps. I had never noticed them before. Human history before the first known space age was full of missing information. There were old buildings with no clear purpose, strange machines that no one knew how to use, symbols that appeared in places where humans supposedly had never lived. We always called them mysteries. I had always believed they were just pieces of a very old past. Now I was not so sure. The alien commander sent me a file. It was very old, and my computer needed several seconds to open it. When it finally appeared, I saw a recording of a human standing inside a dark room. The video was damaged, but the face was clear. He looked like me, not just like a human. He looked almost exactly like me. Same eyes, same face shape, even the same small scar above the left eyebrow. I touched my own eyebrow without thinking. The man in the recording looked directly into the camera. If you are seeing this, he said, then the memory lock has failed. I stopped breathing. The recording continued. You must not trust the stars. You must not trust the old stories. And most of all, you must never open the door beneath the red moon. Then the recording ended. I looked at the commander. What is the red moon? He did not answer. You sent me this. You know what it means. He looked away. Yes. Then tell me. He was silent for several seconds. Finally he said, The red moon is on a planet called Veyra. I checked my navigation system. Veyra was only 3 days away. Why is that important? I asked. The commander looked straight at me. Because Veyra was once a human world. I felt my mouth go dry. There are no human worlds outside Earth. There used to be. He sent me another image. It showed a blue planet with 2 moons. One of the moons was covered in a red cloud that made it look like a red moon from the planet's surface. I recognized the planet immediately. I had seen it in old space maps. Veyra was listed as an empty world, no life, no cities, no reason to visit. Then the commander said something that made everything worse. Your people did not leave Veyra because they wanted to. They left because they were running from something. Before I could ask what, the ship shook. My alarm system came alive again. The black shape outside had reached the alien fleet. One of the alien warships suddenly disappeared. There was no explosion, no fire, no sound. 1 second it was there. The next second, it was gone. Then another ship disappeared. Then another. The alien commander looked terrified. Captain Carter, he said, they have found your signal. Why would they care about me? I asked. His answer was almost a whisper. Because you are human. I looked at the controls. Every part of me wanted to run. But I knew the truth now. If I returned to Earth, whatever was coming might follow me. If I stayed, I might die here. The commander gave me one final choice. Come with us, he said. We will take you to Veyra. Why? I asked. Because if anyone can understand what is happening, it is you. I looked at the dark space outside my window. I thought about the old recording. I thought about the missing parts of human history. Then I looked at the coordinates for Veyra. Something inside me told me that I had to go there. Not because I was brave. Not because I wanted to save the galaxy. I went because I needed to know the truth about my own species. I started the Horizon's engines. The alien fleet moved around me and opened a path. As my ship entered the jump lane, I looked back one last time. The black shape was still behind us. It had not followed. Not yet. I thought we had escaped. Then my navigation screen showed a message that I had never seen before. Destination accepted. Under it were 4 words. Welcome home, Captain Carter. I did not sleep during the trip to Veyra. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the face of the human in the old recording. He had looked exactly like me. The same eyes, the same scar, the same calm voice. I kept asking myself the same question. Who was he, and why did he call Veyra home? The alien fleet traveled beside my ship, but no one spoke much. Even the alien commander, the one who had first ordered me to leave, stayed quiet. I could feel that he was hiding something. I wanted answers, but I knew I would not get them until we reached Veyra. 3 days later, the planet appeared on my screen. It looked normal from space. Blue oceans covered most of its surface. Large clouds moved over the planet. There were 2 moons in the sky. One was white. The other had a strange red glow around it. I stared at it for a long time. That's the red moon, I said. The alien commander nodded. Yes. I checked the planet's old records. Veyra was marked as empty. No cities, no life, no working stations, nothing. If this place was a human world, why does Earth say it is empty? I asked. The commander answered quietly. Because Earth was never supposed to know about it. We entered the planet's atmosphere. My ship shook as we passed through thick clouds. Below us I saw nothing but forests, mountains, and long areas of empty land. It looked like a dead world. Then my scanner found something. I have a signal, I said. The alien commander looked at me. From where? I gave him the location. His face became pale. That is impossible. "What?" I asked. "The signal is coming from beneath the planet." I looked at the screen. The signal was weak, but it was clearly human. I changed our course and followed it. After several minutes, we reached a large valley surrounded by black mountains. My scanner showed nothing on the surface, but when I landed, the signal became stronger. I stepped out of the horizon with a small team. The air was safe to breathe. The wind was cold. I looked around and saw no buildings, no roads, and no signs of life. It was hard to believe humans had ever lived there. Then I noticed something strange on the ground. A metal plate was hidden under the grass. I moved the grass away and saw the same three-line symbol I had seen on the alien ship. My heart started beating faster. I touched the symbol with my hand. The ground suddenly moved. A deep sound came from under my feet. The metal plate opened, showing a dark stairway going deep underground. The alien commander stopped behind me. "You should not go down there," he said. I looked back at him. "You brought me here. I brought you here because I thought you would understand it." "And now?" I asked. He looked into the darkness. "Now I think your people were right to hide it." I turned on my flashlight and started walking down the stairs. My team followed me. The walls were covered with old human writing. Some words were easy to read, others were damaged. But one sentence appeared again and again. "We were not the first." I stopped. "What does that mean?" one of my team members asked. "I don't know," I said. We continued down. The stairs seemed endless. After almost 10 minutes, we reached a huge underground room. I looked around and could not speak. There were hundreds of human ships inside the room. They were old, but they were still there. Some were small fighters, others were massive ships that looked bigger than anything Earth had ever built. I walked toward the closest one. Its surface was covered in dust, but the human symbol was still clear. Then my scanner picked up a power signal. One of the ships was still alive. I moved closer. A small light appeared on its side. Then another. The ship started waking up after thousands of years. My team stepped back. I heard the alien commander whisper something behind me. "This is why we feared your people." I turned around. "Why?" He pointed toward the ships. "Because these are not old ships." I looked at him. "What do you mean?" "They are waiting ships." Before I could ask another question, the entire room came alive. Lights turned on across the walls. Hundreds of screens appeared. Then a large image appeared in the center of the room. It was the same human from the old recording. This time he was not alone. Behind him stood thousands of humans wearing dark uniforms. The man looked into the camera. "My name is Commander Elias Carter," he said. I froze. My family name was Carter. He continued, "If you are watching this message, then the galaxy has failed to keep its promise." I stepped closer to the screen. "What promise?" I whispered. The recording continued. "We made the other species promise never to disturb humanity. In return, we promised that humanity would never return to the stars." I looked at the alien commander. He slowly lowered his head. The old recording continued. "We did this because we discovered something beyond the edge of known space, something that learns from every living thing, something that cannot be killed. We fought it for years. We lost billions. In the end, we had only one choice." The screen changed. I saw a huge black object floating in space. It was larger than a planet. My body went cold. The voice continued. "We locked it outside normal space. We destroyed our records. We left the galaxy. We made our own people forget what happened." I stared at the screen. Then Commander Elias Carter said the words that made my blood run cold. "But the prison will not hold forever." The recording stopped. For a few seconds, nobody moved. Then the floor shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. My scanner started making a loud warning sound. I looked at the screen. A new message had appeared. "Prison status opening." Then another message appeared below it. "Time remaining, 19 minutes." I looked at the alien commander. He looked at me with fear in his eyes. "What happens when the prison opens?" I asked. He slowly answered. "Then the thing your ancestors were running from will come back." The lights went out. And somewhere deep beneath Veyra, something began to wake up. The lights went out, and for a few seconds I could hear nothing except my own breathing. Then a deep sound moved through the floor. It was not an alarm. It sounded more like something huge was breathing under us. My team stood frozen. I raised my weapon and turned on the small light attached to my suit. The beam showed only dark walls and dust. Then the floor shook again. This time, it was much stronger. A metal door at the far end of the room began to open by itself. The alien commander stepped back. "Captain Carter," he said, "we need to leave." I looked at him. "You said the prison has 19 minutes. "It had 19 minutes, he replied. "Now it has less." I ran toward the control station in the center of the room. Old screens were turning on one after another. Most of them showed the same warning. Prison failure. Another screen showed a number that was falling very fast. I tried to stop the system, but it asked for a human command code. I entered my own ID. Nothing happened. I tried my father's name. Nothing. Then I remembered the old recording, Commander Elias Carter. I typed his name into the system. The screen went black for a moment. Then it showed a new message. "Welcome, Alex Carter. Bloodline confirmed." I stared at the words. "Bloodline confirmed," I whispered. The system opened a map of the planet. A red line appeared under the ground and moved toward us. I followed the line with my eyes. It ended beneath the room. There was something directly below us. Something very large. I looked at the alien commander. "What is under this room?" He did not answer. "Tell me." He finally said, "The first prison." "First?" I asked. He looked at me with fear. There was more than one. My team became silent. I felt a heavy pressure in my chest. The old humans had not built one prison. They had built many. That meant they had been fighting this thing for a very long time. I asked him how many prisons existed. He said, "We only know about 7. Before I could ask where the others were, the whole building shook. A voice came from the speakers. It was not the voice from the old recording. It was deeper. It sounded like many voices speaking at the same time. "Alex Carter." My blood turned cold. I stepped closer to the speaker. "Who are you?" The voice answered, "You know me." "No, I don't." "Your ancestors did." The walls began to shake. "They called me many names," the voice continued. "The Hunter, the End, the Silent One." I remembered what the alien commander had said earlier, the Silent Ones. I looked at him. He was staring at the floor. "What does it want?" I asked. The alien commander whispered, "It wants what humans took from it." The voice came again. "You stole my freedom." I felt anger rise inside me. "You attacked us first?" I asked. The room became quiet. Then the voice said, "Your people came into my world. You took my knowledge. You changed my kind. Then you locked me away." I did not know what to believe. The old human recording had made the creature sound like a monster. Now it was telling a different story. I asked, "Did humans attack you?" The answer came quickly. "Yes." Then it added, "But I did not attack humanity because of revenge. I attacked because your species changed the rules of life." I did not understand. "What does that mean?" The voice did not answer. Instead, one of the screens showed an old human experiment. I saw scientists standing around a strange black object. The object was alive. It moved like smoke, but it had no body. The scientists were studying it. Then the screen showed another image. Human soldiers were fighting it. Then another image appeared. The humans were changing their weapons. They were copying the creature's abilities. Suddenly, I understood one part of the story. Humans had not simply fought this enemy, they had learned from it. The alien commander looked at me. "Now you understand why we fear you." I turned toward him. "Why?" He pointed at the screens. "Your people learned faster than the enemy." I looked at the old ships around us. "So why did humanity leave?" He answered, "Because the more your people learned, the more dangerous you became." His words hurt. I wanted to reject them, but the evidence was right in front of me. Maybe humanity had not forgotten the past by accident. Maybe someone had decided that humanity was too dangerous to remember. Then the voice returned. "Alex Carter, open the final door." I stepped back. "Why would I do that?" The voice said, "Because you are the last key." A new screen appeared. It showed a picture of Earth. Then another picture appeared beside it. It showed Veyra. A line connected the two planets. I realized they were linked. The prison was not only on Veyra. Something on Earth was connected to it. "What happens if I open the door?" I asked. The voice answered, "You will remember." I looked at my team. Then I looked at the alien commander. Nobody said anything. Suddenly the old ships around us started moving. One by one their lights turned on. The huge hangar filled with a low mechanical sound. Thousands of years of dust fell from their bodies. My computer connected to one of the ships automatically. A message appeared on my screen. "Human fleet ready." I could barely believe it. Then another message appeared. "Commander, Alex Carter." I stepped away from the screen. "No," I whispered. "That can't be right." The alien commander looked at me. "It is." Before I could say anything else, the ceiling above us opened. A bright red light filled the room. I looked up and saw the sky through the opening. The red moon was directly above us. Then every alarm started at the same time. The prison had opened. Far above Veyra, space itself began to crack, and something was coming through. I watched the sky break above Veyra, and for the first time in my life I understood what real fear felt like. The stars were still there, but they looked wrong. Some of them seemed to move. Others disappeared behind a dark shape that had no clear form. My ship warned me again and again, but the computer could not tell me what was happening. It only showed one message: unknown object. Then the ground shook so hard that I fell to my knees. The alien commander grabbed a metal rail and shouted, "Captain, we have to get back to your ship." I wanted to move, but I could not stop looking at the sky. A huge black opening had appeared above the red moon. It looked like a hole in space. Something was coming through it. We ran back toward the horizon. My team followed me while the alien soldiers moved around us. The old human ships in the underground base were also waking up. Hundreds of them rose from their places and moved toward the surface. I could hear their engines through the walls. I had never seen technology like this before. Some of the ships were shaped like normal fighters, but others were so large that they looked like moving cities. They were thousands of years old, yet they were still working. I reached the surface and stopped for a moment. The sky was full of human ships. They moved in perfect lines, as if they had been waiting for my command for thousands of years. My computer connected to the largest ship. A voice came through the speakers. "Fleet command is ready." I looked at the screen. "Who is speaking?" The voice answered, "Human defense system. Commander recognized." I almost laughed. "I am not a commander." The system replied, "Your bloodline says otherwise." I did not have time to argue. The black opening above the planet was growing larger. The alien commander came running toward me. "Captain, the thing is coming." I looked at him. "How do we stop it?" He shook his head. "We don't." I stared at him. "Then why did you bring me here?" He looked at the human fleet in the sky. "Because your ancestors left something behind." The moment every human ship lost power, I knew we had made a terrible mistake. The stars outside my window were still bright, but our fleet had become completely silent. No engines, no weapons, no lights, nothing. Thousands of ships floated in space like dead pieces of metal. I tried to restart the horizon, but every system refused to respond. My screen showed only one message: system control lost. I looked at the alien commander beside me. For the first time since I had met him, he looked completely helpless. "What happened?" I asked. He stared at his own dead controls. "It learned our system." I felt a cold wave move through me. The enemy had not destroyed our ships. It had taken control of them. Outside, the silent ones began moving toward Earth. I watched them pass through our fleet without attacking. They did not need to. They had already won the first part of the battle. My hands tightened around the controls. I thought about the old human recordings. I thought about the warning on Veyra. I thought about the old rule that every species in the galaxy followed: never disturb humanity. Maybe the galaxy had been right to fear us. Maybe the old humans had failed because they tried to defeat this enemy with force. I looked at the alien commander. How long before they reach Earth? He checked the small emergency scanner he was carrying. Less than 20 minutes. I looked at the planet below us. Earth was still blue and peaceful. From space, it looked exactly as it always had. It was hard to believe that billions of people were living there without knowing that something was coming for them. Then I remembered something. The old human system had called me the commander. Not because I was special, because it knew my blood. I opened the emergency panel beside my seat and pulled out the small metal device I had found inside the ancient base. I had kept it without knowing why. It had the same 3-line symbol on it. I placed it against the main control panel. Nothing happened. I tried again. Still nothing. Then I remembered the old message. If you are watching this, then the memory lock has failed. I closed my eyes and repeated the words. The memory lock has failed. The ship suddenly shook. The screen turned on. A new message appeared. Memory access available. I stared at it. Open it, I whispered. The screen went black. Then I saw a memory. I was standing inside a huge room, but I was not myself. I was watching through someone else's eyes. Thousands of years ago, humans were standing around a giant table. The same symbol was on the wall behind them. A man stood at the center. It was Commander Elias Carter, the same man from the recording. He was speaking to a group of human leaders. We cannot kill it, he said. Every weapon we use becomes another lesson for it. One leader asked, then what do we do? Elias looked at a screen showing the black creature. We stop trying to beat it. The room became silent. We change the game. Another leader asked, how? Elias looked toward the stars. We make it believe humanity is gone. The memory changed. I saw humans leaving Earth. Not thousands, millions. Huge fleets disappeared into deep space. Some went to distant worlds, others destroyed their own records. The human civilization that existed before my time was not destroyed. It was hidden. Then I saw something that made me understand the old rule. The humans did not ask the aliens to protect humanity. They asked the aliens to pretend humanity no longer existed. They made every species believe that humans were gone, but they also left one secret behind, a final plan. A plan that could only be activated by a human from the future. The memory ended. I opened my eyes. The alien commander was staring at me. What did you see? He asked. I looked at him. My ancestors planned this. He shook his head. They knew this day would come. I looked at the dead fleet outside. They knew the enemy would return. Then why did they leave you? I smiled slightly. They did not leave me. I pointed toward the control panel. They left all of us. I opened the hidden system. A new map appeared. It showed the entire galaxy. Thousands of small points appeared across it. The alien commander looked shocked. What are those? I answered. Human ships. He looked at me. How many? I checked the number. I could hardly believe it. 842,000. The human fleet we had seen on Veyra was only a small part of the plan. Our ancestors had built ships all across the galaxy. They had been sleeping, waiting. But the system gave me one warning. The fleet can only be activated once. I knew what that meant. If I called them, there was no turning back. I looked at Earth again. Then I opened the main communication channel. This is Captain Alex Carter. My voice traveled across the silent fleet. To every human ship that can hear me, this is not an order from a government. This is a message from one human to another. I took a breath. For thousands of years, we believed we were alone. We believed our history began with the first human colony. We were wrong. Our ancestors knew about this enemy. They fought it. They lost. But they did not give up. They built a plan. And now that plan has reached us. I looked at the alien commander. He was listening quietly. I continued. The galaxy has been afraid of us for thousands of years. Today we have a choice. We can run again, Or we can show them why our ancestors believed humanity could survive. I pressed the final button. Activate human fleet. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then the first light appeared. Far across the galaxy, a human ship woke up. Then another. Then 10. Then 1,000. Then millions of lights appeared across the star map. The alien commander stood frozen. I watched the numbers rise. 10,000, 50,000, 200,000, 500,000. Then the screen showed the final number, 842,000 human ships active. The alien commander whispered, "This is impossible." I looked at him. "No," I smiled. "This is human." The ships appeared around Earth one by one. The silent ones stopped moving. For the first time they looked uncertain. I knew why. They had fought the old humanity. They had studied its weapons. They had learned its tricks. But they had never seen this humanity. We had thousands of years of new ideas. We had alien technology. We had new weapons. And we had something the enemy could not copy. Choice. I gave the order. Do not attack. The alien commander looked at me. What? Do not attack yet. I opened a channel to the largest silent one. I know you can hear me. The creature answered. You cannot defeat me. I know. The alien commander looked shocked. I continued. You are right. We cannot defeat you with weapons. The creature became silent. So what will you do? I looked at the fleet around Earth. We are going to teach you something. The creature asked, What? I answered, How to lose. Then every human ship turned on its engines. But we did not attack the enemy. Instead, we moved away from Earth. The enemy followed. That was exactly what I wanted. We led the silent ones toward a region of empty space, a place with no planets, no cities, no people. The enemy followed us because it believed we were running, but I knew something it did not. The old humans had built the final trap there. We entered the region. The enemy came after us. Then I gave one command, close the gate. Thousands of human ships moved into position. A giant field appeared around the enemy. The silent ones tried to escape. They could not. They attacked the field. The field changed. They attacked again. It changed again. The enemy began learning. But this time we were not trying to stop it. We were giving it exactly what it wanted. Every weapon, every energy pattern, every attack, every defense. It copied all of them. Then I activated the final system. The field did not destroy the enemy. It copied the enemy's own learning system. For thousands of years, the silent ones had survived by copying every species they fought. Now, their own system began copying itself. Again, and again, and again. The process became too much for them. Their system began to break. The largest creature screamed through every communication channel. What have you done? I looked at it. We learned how you learn. It attacked one final time. The field held. Its shape began to disappear. The other silent ones started fading with it. One by one, the dark creatures vanished. The stars became visible again. For the first time in hours, space was quiet. The battle was over. I sat in my chair and stared through the window. Earth was still there, blue, bright, alive. The alien commander slowly walked toward me. He looked exhausted. He looked at Earth, then he looked at me. Why did your people hide for so long? I thought about the old humans. I thought about everything they had sacrificed. Then I answered. Because they knew power can become dangerous. He nodded. And now? I looked at the thousands of human ships around Earth. Now we know something else. What? I smiled. Being powerful does not mean you have to use your power. The alien commander looked at me for a long time. Then he said, The old rule is finished. I looked at him. What rule? He smiled. The rule that said never disturb humanity. I waited. He continued. We need a new one. What is it? He looked at Earth. Then he said, Never underestimate humanity. Years later, children across the galaxy would learn about the day the silent ones returned. They would learn that the galaxy once feared humans. They would learn that humans disappeared for thousands of years. They would learn that humanity could have ruled the galaxy after the war, but we did not. We returned home. We opened our worlds to the aliens who had once been afraid of us. We shared our technology. We shared what we knew, and we made one promise. Never again would humanity hide from the stars. I still remember the day I stood above Earth and watched the first alien ships enter our space without weapons. For thousands of years, the galaxy had looked at humanity and seen a danger. Now they saw something different. They saw a species that had made mistakes, a species that had lost, a species that had learned, and a species that had finally decided to return to the stars. I looked at Earth one last time and whispered the words my ancestors had never been able to say. We are home. Then I turned my ship toward the stars, because humanity was no longer hiding, and this time the galaxy was ready for us.